Hello everyone and welcome to the start of our Wayne State University football positional previews. I'm Brady Beedon, and over the next few weeks to month we'll be going over everything Wayne State football is going to be here in 2026. But first we're going to start with the head man, Head Coach Terrence Isaac, senior coach. It's been a little bit since we've talked. I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for you over the past 3 to 4 months. It probably felt like both a year and a day in the same hand. How has it been just getting your feet under you, getting settled, and kind of catching up to when you were hired?
It's been great. I think the main thing is we've been able to get out and talk to some high school coaches and meet with a lot of individuals, a lot of great individuals that's been extremely helpful in this process. So it's been great.
I know one big thing with the spring game that you emphasized was getting alumni out, and even though it was, a little bit of a chilly day, there was a pretty good group of alumni that came out to meet you and the staff. What was that like to meet alumni that, had graduated a year or two ago to 4 to 5 decades ago?
Those guys have been amazing. A lot of alum, they've reached out and communicated, asking me if there's anything I need. So they've been really great and supportive, so I'm appreciative of that.
No, that's awesome to see, and to openly welcome them with open arms, because there is a very proud and very large alumni base that wants to come back and help here. So let's talk about spring ball. You kind of had to figure it out as you go right at spring ball. With the spring game, your numbers were a little lower than, I'm sure you're hoping next year's spring game will be. But who are some of the standouts you thought from spring ball as you're learning who these kids are, as you're learning what they can do, from any spot that you went, man, this guy really showed up and I thought had a nice spring?
I thought Carson Freehand did a really good job coming in, and new system, and he was able to come in and absorb everything that we put out there because we threw a lot at him. So I thought he did really well. I thought Craig Johnson on the defensive line did really well. And I could name a lot of others, but I think the main thing is the guys came in, they bought into what we were doing. So I was mostly proud of that, the way they bought into what we're doing. New system and things like that, so they adapted really well. So I'm proud of that.
Even the on the field stuff, we saw throwing it around, but the off the field stuff, you have your pretty, it's kind of, this is how things are going to be done. This is how we're going to treat each other. How has that side been in the locker room and just the culture as a whole?
That's been amazing. We operate off of respect. I'm going to keep talking about it. You guys are going to hear it. 75 degrees, right? I want the temperature in the football program to always be at 75 degrees, no matter what. So I want to create a safe space for players to come in and talk about it. I had a few guys this morning that came in and just talked about life, how's the family and things like that. So when you walk into the football building or you come around the football team, I always want that temperature to be 75 degrees. So
no, that's awesome to see them, adapt and bring them in. We were talking before we started recording, had to bring a lot of guys in. How many guys have you brought in, and what specific kind of guys were you looking for when you went into the portal or JUCO or high school, wherever?
I want guys, honestly, it's about character, right? We can coach the football piece, but the character part, if you come in, you have great character, and you're following the rules and you're doing everything that we ask you to do, we can coach up the rest, right? So we came in and we knew that we were behind. We came in after signing day, and it was only a couple guys signed. So I think the staff did a great job of identifying the guys that we need, and then the guys coming in, and we just we kind of attacked it. So we had some needs that we had to go out and get. I think we're at about 55 guys now that new guys that we're bringing in. So I think we have a good mix of younger guys with older guys. So I think it's a good mix there.
So essentially, people hear that 55 number and think like, oh my goodness, that's huge. But when you look at it, Coach, that's basically half the roster there, because you only had, 45 to 55 guys really on the team and there for spring ball. So, 50 plus guys was almost a necessity.
Right. I kind of like to over-recruit, knowing that we'll lose some guys to injury. In the past, I've had guys homesick and things like that.
Some guys will realize college football is not for them.
So we want to bring in a lot more guys, knowing that we'll lose some. So if we can have that number right at around 100, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of programs are sitting at right now. Let's talk a little bit on the field. I know you, when one of the first times we met, you said, man, I'm throwing it off the bus.
Yes.
For those that didn't hear that, talk about that philosophy and what you want to do and what you want to see at Tom Adams Field.
That hasn't changed. We're going to throw it, getting off the bus. We're going to give you a bunch of different formations. We're going to have some fun. We're going to spread teams out. we want to see, I mean, you're going to have to show us, right? You're going to have to show us if you can stop us. So I think the offense, once the quarterback gets the grasp of it and he's able to get us in and out of situations, I tell him all the time, it's not going to be a perfect play call every time. But if you can come in and get us out of certain situations, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fast. We're going to be physical. We're going to be aggressive in our approach. So I'm looking forward to working with the guys that we have coming in as well.
Now, I can already hear what some of the alumni might be thinking is, man, it gets pretty cold in Michigan. It gets pretty cold in Minnesota, too, where you came from. So I can't imagine temperature doesn't affect that at all, whether it's 75 degrees or 7 degrees throwing off the bus.
Doesn't affect it at all. I think it helps us more. It helps us a lot more as an offense because we know where we want to go. We know what we're doing, what we want to do, and you got to stop us. So, like I said, I don't shy away from that. We're going to throw the ball. We're going to get off the bus throwing the ball.
Now, with running backs, I'm sure there's a few running backs out there that are going, whoa, do I have a role in this offense? What does the running back do in a Coach Isaac offense?
Definitely have a role. We want guys that can kind of do it all. I like to put my running backs at the number 3 and have them run routes. I like to, we will run the ball, right? We will run the ball, but I like to throw first and then run later.
Yeah, it's not going to be Warren Moon 65 times a game.
Correct. Now, if we're in a rhythm running the ball, we'll continue to run the ball, but we will prefer to come out throwing the ball.
All right, Coach, let's talk a little defense. How much do you have your hands in the defense, and what's that going to look like come September?
I think the great thing that Coach Thurman is doing, he has multiple defenses, right? So he'll say, our base is this or our base is that, but he's going to make the adjustments every week based off who we play. He may be in a 4-2-5. He may be in a 3-4. He may be in a 4-3. It's multiple defenses that he can throw at you. So every week, and it's great for the players because they're learning something new every week, and it's a new challenge every week. So, but right now, I think I've been sitting in those meetings, and the defensive staff, they're doing a great job of getting things organized, and I think you guys will be pleased with that.
So one thing that, it feels like keeps coming back to is any football player that puts on the green and gold is going to have a high football IQ because, you want to run fast. You're going to run a lot of different concepts offensively, defensively. 1 week you're going to have to switch from a 3-4. Maybe you're a hand in the dirt D lineman. Then you're an outside backer or a nickel to a safety.
Yes.
Would that be true to say high IQ is going to be kind of a prerequisite to being on the field here?
Absolutely. High IQ and being conditioned and ready to go. One thing we're going to do, we're going to run a lot. We want to be conditioned. Offensively, we want to play fast. Defensively, we want to play fast. We're going to go against a lot of spread teams and fast-paced teams, so we have to be ready for that. So I think the main thing, the challenge for us as coaches is to make sure we're doing our part, and our job is getting them conditioned and ready to go.
Now that you have your staff in place, talking about those coaches, I mean, you got some from everywhere, right? You got some guys you coached with, you got some guys you battled against. How has the staff come together and settled in here at Wayne State now that you've had about 90 days together?
I think we have a great group of coaches. I think that room, that temperature is really 75 degrees because, I tell guys all the time, you can go to any coach in this staff. It's going to be the same language as far as rules and expectations and things like that. So I think a great staff is hard to find. And I think I found the great staff because we all get along in that building. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to have some disagreements on some things, but I think it's a great group of guys. So I'm excited about the abilities that all of them have.
Well, I have to imagine, you've probably coached on staffs that weren't rowing in the same direction, that didn't have the same vision, and maybe the football knowledge could have been higher, but if you're getting contradictory messages to the players, that's going to stunt a lot of growth. So how important is it that if I go to you or I go on the offensive side, defensive side, I'm getting the same message from every coach?
Very important, and that's something that I stress with the coaches. We have to be connected, right? Whether you agree with it or not, right? But we're going to have those core values, those rules. No cursing, no N-word, stay away from smoking, drinking. I mean, it's things, we're not forcing religion on anybody once again. But at our practice, you'll hear gospel music, you'll hear different things. You're not going to hear all the stuff that's being played at some practices. So we just operate off of respect. And I think if we as coaches respect each other, then it trickles down to the players. And then it becomes the players respect the coaches. The players know that the coaches will do anything for them. And then it just becomes, so we want to build that community. We want to build that team. So I think I can't compliment my coaches enough because they've bought into all the things that I put out there for them.
It sounds like a very much lead from the front mentality, not sit up in the tower and say, this is where I need you. Like, no, this is the example I'm setting, and I'm not going to put any rules on you that I wouldn't follow myself.
Right. What's most important is the leadership, and I talked to some players today. It was our leadership team as far as our players. And I tell them all the time, leaders aren't always liked. That's why everybody can't do it, because some people are worried about what people think. Once you become that leader that's like, you know what, this is for the team. And also being a coach, right? You go through this thing to where it's not about me. It's about the players. And once the coaches we as coaches realize that it's not about us, it's about those players, then we'll become a better team.
All right, Coach, as we get to the end here, I do want to ask about the schedule a little bit. I mean, I know you probably haven't looked at everything in super in-depth, but, you know, GLIAC's always a tough league. You don't have exactly, you're starting off with a playoff team in Northwood in week 1. Let's just start with the Timberwolves. I mean, how much have you dove into them and getting ready for that Thursday night?
We're locked in. That's the only thing that we're worried about right now. You know, I respect the GLIAC. I respect everyone in this conference. It's hard to win football games as it is. But coming to this conference, I respect it. I respect everybody in this conference. But our main focus has been on Northwood. Like, that's been our, and then, you know, it's something I carry around with me.
Not
you know,
playing, by the way.
Something I carry around with me. You know, we were ranked right here. We were ranked the third worst team in D2 football. So that's motivation. And then this came out. We're ranked. We're predicted to go 2-9. So
I did not know he had this in the pocket. This is genuine.
So we're motivated, and this is a reminder. I'm going to keep this in my pocket every single day because we got work to do. And if you don't, this is a great time to be part of Wayne State, because a chance to turn this thing around and a chance to make an impact and put a dent in this thing. So I'm excited about this. So
you know what I love about that, Coach, is, you know, sometimes people take over and they try to put their head in the sand with the past and try to ignore it. You kind of have to embrace where it's been. Not that you're saying it's acceptable or that's what you want, but it's the reality, right? You know, last year it is the scarlet letter of going 0-11, and that first win's going to be a big hump. But I'm sure that has been gnawing at those young men over there all summer long.
Yes. I ask them all the time, hey, guys, do you take it personal? Take this personal. So I'm excited. We're ready to go, and we're not going to let you guys down. All the alum, we're not going to let you guys down. We're going to get it done.
All right, Coach, last question I'm going to have for you and every coach when I talk to them. When someone leaves Tom Adams Field, they come and watch the green and gold. What's the one word you want them to describe what they just saw as?
Wow.
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 All
wow,
right.
Yes.
All right, Coach. Yes. I hope I'm saying wow a lot this fall.
Yes,
that would be a lot of fun.
Yes,
so,
yes,
I mean, big one starting off Thursday night before Labor Day against Northwood. An old rivalry reignited. I think you're going to get a lot of Timberwolves fans to come down. So I think it's going to be a heck of an atmosphere.
Yes,
so, Coach, I can't wait. September's not that far away.
Yes, sir.
He's Head Coach Terrence Isaac Sr. I'm Brady Beedon, and this was the start of the Wayne State football positional previews.